Alright, and welcome back everybody to the last video. Alright, so what we have covered so far in terms of the actual in-class exercise, we learned how to create a pivot table where we could come up with our data that's necessary in order to calculate the weighted displacement quotient. I showed you how to do this with property crime. What you're going to do is do this analysis now with violent crime. So rather than use the pre-property and pre or enduring property, you're going to use the pre-violent and during violent. You're going to use the same thing for the buffer location, so you use the violent crime instead of the property crime ones. And what you'll do is you'll follow the same steps that I did. So you'll create your pivot table, then you will create a new tab where you have that you name violent crime analysis. You'll input your counts, then you'll go to your weighted displacement quotient calculator and you will enter these values. And in addition to just entering these, what I want you to do is then come back and I'd like you to provide me with the following information. And so I kind of just did this on my own to show you a way you can set it up. But in addition to the counts, I'd like you to set up a little results section. I'd like you to tell me what happened with crime in the target area. And so if you go back to your weighted displacement quotient calculator, this part was calculated for you when we looked at property crime. So I'm looking at it now and it says reported crime in the target area increased by 10.92%. If that was the case for violent crime, I'd like you to write in this cell 10.92% increase. Right, that's all you have to enter in there. Crime in the buffer zone, looking at the property crime results, and it says crime in the buffer area decreased by 5.97%. So here you would write 5.97% decrease. Fill in the same for control area, whatever the trend was. And now with the property crime, they do give us a success measure as well, and that is 0.221. So I'd have you enter 0.221 here. This is going to be different for violent crime, so just enter whatever the success measure is in this box. Since the property crime example we had an unsuccessful intervention, the buffer displacement measure was not calculated, but it will be when you do this for violent crime. So I'd like you to enter the buffer displacement measure here. Then I'd like you to tell me what the total net effect is. And so this is going to be in that summary section of the results tab for the weighted displacement quotient calculator. So for property crime, the total net effect was an increase of 76 crimes. So here, if this is the case for property crime, or for violent crime, which it will not be, I would write 76 crime increase. And then what I want you to do is explain everything to me. So in about a paragraph, tell me what happened with this intervention. And really the information that you need is in the summary section of the results tab for the weighted displacement quotient calculator. I don't want you to copy word for word. I'd like you in a paragraph to tell me, to summarize what happened with this intervention. So again, don't copy word for word what is being spit out at you from the weighted displacement quotient calculator. I'd like you to put it in your own words. Right, and so that is going to be the assignment for this week. So you're going to upload to Blackboard this actual Excel sheet. You're also going to complete the quiz as you have in previous weeks. And what we're going to do for our final project is we're going to start working with these other variables. And so if you think about what we've done, or what we talked about earlier in this lecture, what we've looked at so far here is we've looked at the outcome. But we also, in the event of successful intervention, we also want to look at the outputs, things like pedestrian stops and arrests, vehicle stops, whatever variables we have. Here we have pedestrian stops, arrests, and SQFs. So we'll use these data for our final projects. and we'll actually look at how we can compare changes in these outputs to kind of put some meat on the bones of our outcome analysis, which for violent crime will be that we had a successful intervention. Right, so that's what we're going to be doing for our final projects, but I will put together a video for you on that, and once you do the analysis, you're actually going to be putting together a presentation for me, and you're going to record yourself, and that's going to be your final project. Right, but there'll be more of that to come, or more information on that to come. Right, so with that said, I'm going to end this video here. This is going to be the end of the lecture and in-class assignment for today. So when you've completed the evaluation for violent crime, go ahead and upload that to Blackboard. I made the due date tomorrow just to give people extra time, but there's really no reason why you shouldn't be able to complete this by the end of today. So I'd encourage you to try to get it done today so that you don't put it off. Alright, so if you have any questions, feel free to post those questions on Blackboard. I'm all caught up with grading. I've got all of your grades are up on Blackboard, so if you are missing a grade or there's an issue, please take a look at those and email me if I'm missing something. Could be that you emailed me something late and I was not able to find it, so just have a look at your grades to make sure that they are accurately reflected. Right, so with that, I'll end this here, and I will see you next week.